All right, welcome back to the Onebar and Lupagus Show. I'm Onebar. We got a special guest, Max Brosmer, Vikings rookie quarterback, is in the house, traveling safely. Seatbelt is on, which is wonderful to see. Max, welcome back to the show. Two-time guest.
Yes, thanks for having me on again. I appreciate it.
Yeah, we're very excited. Where are you at right now?
We are headed through Johns Creek, Georgia, over to Lake Hartwell, which is the border of Georgia and South Carolina. It's a lake that borders the two states.
Nice. Minnesota, the Gophers wanted you clearly badly. Vikings clearly wanted you. The Minnesota state of Minnesota just loves you. When all is said and done, are you willing to give up Georgia to retire in the great state of Minnesota?
Yeah, I've fallen in love with the place. I mean, my family has fallen in love with the place. Me and my girlfriend have been up there. This will be our second year out there, obviously. The people up there in the community. I mean, there hasn't been a place that I've found that I've loved as much as Minnesota and just the state in general. I've been up north. I've gone way south of the city, been in the city. I've loved every piece of it. So I can, if financially speaking, if I get to a point where I can afford multiple houses, then Minnesota on Minnetonka will be probably a place that I get up to.
Oh, nice. You already got the spot picked out. I got to ask. So we are actually located on the North Shore, right on the tip of Lake Superior. Have you been up there at all?
Where at, you said?
We're a little bit north of Duluth.
Okay, yeah, I haven't been up to Duluth. I've been up to Perham a few times, and I've loved it up there. I've had some amazing interactions with amazing people up there, and gotten to bring teammates up there and experience the fishing up there. It's incredible.
All right. Well, I promised Max this would be quick, so I'm going to get right into it. We had the chance to have Zemiah Vaughn on a couple weeks ago, a guy on the defensive side of the ball, undrafted free agent like yourself, getting rave reviews, and now we got you, a guy on the offensive side of the ball, also getting rave reviews from KOC himself. I'm sure you're going to brush it off, but that's got to feel good as far as a rookie coming in and hearing those sorts of things. I mean, how does that sit mentally going in the training camp?
It feels good. I think getting validation almost sometimes is, can be a positive thing, but it's not something you can live by. And you're not working for, validation from someone or validation from a group of people. It's more of an internal validation and knowing that you're putting as many hours of work as possible into your craft. And whether you get validated or not, that's just kind of how the NFL works. And usually you don't get validated. So it's nice, but to live by that is not something that will produce, success at the end of the day. So I'm excited to go into training camp. I feel like I've learned a lot of ball so far, and learning new things that maybe I haven't. I didn't think that I had a lot to learn more. There's a fold that you can learn from people like KO, people like Coach McCowan, and even Brett Rippon is a guy I've gotten close with and talking ball with. So just finding my way around the facility every single day, finding new people to meet, and learn as much as I can on a daily basis.
Yeah, I got to say, I've watched a handful of your interviews, both from college and the pros. Like, you're one of the most positive guys as far as just all your answers. It's all about, whatever happens. You're fantastic to watch. But I got to go on the other side of things. Have you had that kind of holy crap moment where you realize, all right, this is the biggest difference between going from college to the pros? What has been the biggest difference quarterback wise that you've noticed in your limited action?
Just in your words there, it's limited action right away. I mean, that's probably the first one. It's just learning how to, adjust, becoming the rookie again. Where, for 4 years in college, or 5 years or almost 6 years at that point, you were the guy, and then going into a room now where you have to kind of start from ground zero and restart. And that's great for every position group, but it's great for quarterbacks because I feel like, number one, you get developed. Number two, you get humbled, and being humbled comes around ever so often. And when you get humbled, and you have to make sure that you take it with the perspective of, I'm going to get better through this. And, getting a handful of reps a day and making sure every single rep you get is, the best rep you can take on that day. And then just when you talk about on the field, I think it's a consistency of speed, a consistency of athletic ability, and consistency of, the tenure of the players that you're playing against. You're playing against people who've been in the NFL for like 15 years, 10 years, 8 years, people who are veterans and have tripled the amount of time that you've played. in the NFL. So that's always fun, is when you get to, iron sharpens iron. It's a way that you can, learn and get challenged on a daily basis. And there's no easy days ever. In college, maybe there's a couple easy days get thrown towards you, but in the NFL, there are no easy days. And that's a ton of fun to be a part of.
Well, this one comes from one of our viewers, Vossman. He wants to know, as far as the quarterback room being pretty young, is there any veterans outside of any coaches that have really kind of taken you under their wing?
Yeah, I think the fun part for me is I kind of get to branch out a little bit and meet new people on the team, and everyone is so inviting to rookies at the Vikings, and that's something that I love. Is there's no like push away. You're a rookie. You're gonna figure it out by yourself. Like Brett Rippon's the guy that I've been, attaching my hip to his hip for as much as possible for me, and he's the vet in our room, and he's been in the league for 8 or 9 years now, and he knows ball. He knows. I think the best when you can judge a teacher or a player, the best teachers and players are able to simplify things at a level that you can teach a younger guy. And I'm the younger guy now. And so, what I was doing with Drake Lindsay last year, he's kind of doing with me a little bit. While also competing with me on a daily basis, which is a lot of fun. It's a cool dynamic, and I'm getting to learn different folds and different aspects of football, but also just the NFL business life. It's an amazing experience.
Max, you are not disappointing. I got to ask when the quarterback room, kind of a little bit of follow up. It's kind of a unique situation where your quarterback room is very, very young. I mean, I know Brett, it's been in the league for a while, but he's still very new to the Vikings. Last year they signed him. What's your take? I mean, JJ obviously is very young. Sam Howell is still, I think he's only 24 or so.
Yeah.
So what's
Same
your
class.
take? What's your take on not having that veteran quarterback? I know Brett's been around, but I mean, like a Joe Flacco. I mean, the Vikings were rumored signing these guys. What's your take on the youngsters? You having more fun not having that old guy being grumpy?
You can take the older guy, I guess, as Coach McCown. I mean, I'm not going to call him old, but that'll get me banished from the room. But he played in the NFL or played football for 19 years at professional level. I mean, that's more. There's no more veteran that you can get from that. And you compare it to an actual guy that's competing for a spot in a room. It's a little bit different. But for Coach McCown to be our quarterback coach, and hearing the words and hearing how he speaks on a daily basis, that's the exact same thing, in my opinion, in my position anyway. And I think allowing the younger guys to continue to compete and continue to be developed in a way that provides intense competition on a daily basis, it's a lot of fun. And Coach McCown's the head of that. He's the head of that room, and we respect him to be that way. And he puts countless amount of hours into work into that room on a daily basis, and it's a lot of fun to be a part of. And I've said it before, I love being in rooms where you have similar mindsets with the people inside the room, and there's no factor, or there's no personal way that, oh, this guy doesn't work that hard, this guy doesn't have it, like that. The entire room is the exact same. Everyone has that mentality, and Coach McCown and Jordan Traylor also, they have, and it just shows you the leadership in that room and how it trickles down.
I know you've only gotten a small glimpse of McCown, but do you see him as a head coach in the league someday?
Oh man, he is so football smart. But I think the cool part is, I mean, I think people know obviously how smart he is as a football player, as a quarterback, just because you don't play in the NFL for 18 or 19 years if you can't do it mentally. But his ability to reach every single person on the team, and not be their friend, but be respected as a coach and be respected as a colleague almost, is really incredible. And I that's one of the things that I'm trying to learn from him as much as possible is, like, as a quarterback, you kind of get to be, one of the head faces for your team, right? And part of playing quarterback is leading every single person on the team, not just the offense, not the O-line, not the receivers. It's the DBs, it's the D-line, the linebackers, and being able to relate with everybody on the team in a way that eventually provides team success is so important. And he embodies that. He really does. And obviously, he's seen his career mostly as a backup and got to play some really cool games as a starter. But you don't get to do that if you aren't the glue to the team. And he shows you on a daily basis as our coach, but also for the team in general, how he can be the glue for any team that he's been a part of.
Yeah, unfortunately, the Vikings were on the wrong end of a few of the times we got to face him, and
Yeah.
it was not overly fantastic. But we love him now. So let's talk quick as far as the depth chart. Um, Obviously, JJ McCarthy is looked at as the guy for the future for the Vikings, but behind him, I mean, from a fan standpoint, it seems like it's kind of open competition as far as where the cards fall. I mean, is that kind of the feeling you're getting?
Yeah, I think it's a constant. Like I said, there's intense competition on a daily basis, and we're all, Sam and I are similar boat where we're learning the offense together, and Rip's kind of been in a similar scheme before when he's been in the NFL for a few years before us, obviously. So he knows offensive football really well, and the cool part about our room is there's no like haste between the four guys in the room. There's everyone is supporting everybody to become the best version of themselves, and I think at that point, if you're satisfied or if you're happy with the work you've put in, at the end of the day, whatever spot you end up in is what you end up in, and that's kind of my mentality, and a similar mentality towards the guys in the room. So I'm just happy that I'm able to ask questions to Rip, for example, and he's not pushing back. It's super supportive and coming from a role of a teacher and a veteran, which I so greatly appreciate.
Well, that kind of leads me to my next question. I've got a couple more. I'll let you go. Once again, join Max
Yeah,
Brosmer is in the house. So rookie mini camp or rookie camp, then mini camp, and now training camp. The intensity always picks up in training camps, a little more cutthroat. Everyone's
yeah,
looking at that 53, looking at that practice squad. Do you feel
yeah.
that it will definitely be a different aura the next time you step in that building?
That's what I've been hearing. Obviously, mentality wise, and I'm gonna continue to keep the same mentality, and on a daily basis, and continue to get 1% better on a daily basis. And for the whole building, that's kind of the rumor and the known shift in aura, like you say, is so true. And I think that's for every NFL team. Obviously, this is when jobs are earned, and you hear that starting from rookie minicamp. It's like jobs aren't earned in minicamp and OTAs. It's in fall camp, so or in training camp. So I'm excited for that challenge. I'm excited to kind of feel that energy, and use it to propel the team and also propel myself as much as possible, and then also use it as like a foundation too for as long as I get to play in the NFL. If this is my first one, and use it as a foundation for the rest of my career.
All right, a couple quickies to finish off. Any receiver that you've kind of had a extra connection with on the field?
Yeah, most of my reps are usually revolving around with the rookies, which is awesome. We do a ton of stuff together and all together at the same time. And I think all the wideouts of the rookie class are so talented, super super talented. Silas and Miles, Rob, Ty. And these people are these receivers are just they're incredible. I think all of them are very they're all a little bit different and they're all unique, but they all have the same mentality. It's the same thing. It's get 1% better on a daily basis. And I don't know that I could choose one guy and be like that's my guy. Every single person has a different flavor they add to the mix, and you can kind of capitalize depending on the situation with who you're throwing to.
Yeah, it's funny. We asked Zamaya Vaughn pretty much the same question of both the receivers, and he gave the same names that you just
Yeah,
said. So
Z
it sounds
Z is so talented. He's such a big body for a corner, and he's hard to throw over when you need to, and he's super smart coming in. He's a lot of fun to go against.
I got to ask that. Did you happen to gift wrap them a interception at all in practice, or did you
Oh
steer
yeah,
clear?
I gave him one. He's my locker mate, so we had a discussion in the locker room. I said, hey, you let me give you one, then you got to give me something in return. No, I'm just kidding. But he got me rookie minicamp, and I didn't realize how tall he was until I stood next to him. He's like 6'3" as a corner, which is, I mean, there's not a ton of 6'3" corners anymore. So he's one of those guys that's kind of a little bit different guy to try to throw over. So he's very very talented. Good guy to be around
Yeah,
too.
great guy. All right. Do you ever do you soak it in, and do you realize come training camp, come preseason, when you get out there, like being the Gophers quarterback, now you're a Viking. I mean, everyone's going to be pulling for you, man. You're going to be a fan
Yeah.
favorite. You already are a fan favorite, but does that add any extra pressure?
I think if you focus too much on where you've come from, then you kind of lose track of where you're at. And so, like I practiced like every Sunday mentally. I kind of just sat. I haven't talked about this before, but I sat in the indoor every Sunday throughout this off season, mini camp and OTAs. Sat in the indoor and just and looked around just for like 30 minutes. And you can call it meditation, you can call it, um, you know, looking back and continuing to take it all in and be extremely grateful for where you're at. But the moment Monday hits and the moment we start, workouts and meetings, there's no more, oh yeah, like, I'm so excited to be a Gophers quarterback playing for the Vikings, because then you just lose track of where you're at. And then there's not going to be any more Max Brosmer, Gophers Vikings quarterback. And ultimately, I know I'm confident in whatever happens with my career is supposed to happen. If I'm supposed to be with the Vikings for the next 10 years, great. If I'm not, then I'll always be a Gophers quarterback. I always will. And it's funny. I was driving with my girlfriend last week, and we saw a Wisconsin license plate down here. And she's like, I was like, oh, Wisconsin. She's like, do you think we can really, be kind of salty about Wisconsin? We only played there for a year. And I'm like, man, we are Gophers through and through. Wisconsin will always be distasteful in our family now. So
wow, you're winning hearts just by that statement alone. I mean, wait till you start seeing the Packer hatred with the Vikings. I mean,
I know.
That's just a tip, baby. That is the right answer, by the way.
I'm excited.
All right, final one. Has it worn off yet? I mean, are you still a little bit starstruck when you're out on the field and see like Hitman across the field? I mean, you see 18 out there. Has that worn off? Is it all football, all business now, or do you still just get a chance to just be like, wow, this is unbelievable?
I think that it kind of changes when you're able to kind of talk to them on a just like a dude level in the locker room. I think that changes it a little bit. I got to have a few words with Harrison Smith, and just kind of shoot the crap with him a little bit in the locker room. And he's a great dude. Like, he's an unbelievable dude and an unbelievable player. And you kind of, once you're able to tie the two together, I think it becomes a little less, oh my God, it's, Justin Jefferson. Oh my God, it's Jordan Addison. Like, there's a piece of that everyone's human underneath the helmet and the shoulder pads. And I think if you live too much again in that world where you're kind of starstruck, then again, you're going to lose focus of the place that you're at, and lose focus of your job, which is to be the best player that you can be. Then you kind of, you get backtracked a little bit.
Man, I told you guys, you got great answers for everything. It was fantastic. Max, we're going to be your biggest fans come training camp, come preseason. We wish you nothing but the best. Good luck with everything. Have an awesome 4th. We appreciate you hopping on.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me on.